Hello, welcome back to my channel. I want to say thank you for all my new subscribers and hopefully more to come, but I do have 33 awesome ones, and if you like my content, I hope I get many more. But today, I make posts and then I do it on TikTok because I learned how to work TikTok way before I learned how to work YouTube. So I'll make posts over there and people come in my comments, and you can only write so many characters on one of their posts. You get like 250, 2,500, something like that. Anyway, you're limited to what you can write. So I kind of squish it all in one little paragraph and then I send it out. But people that are pro Gypsy, they seem to lose the fact that what's really going on. So me and ChatGPT are going to try to help break it down, slow it down, and make it a little bit more where Dee is getting more credit and Gypsy is getting the no credit that she deserves, because her mom is absolutely getting dragged through the mud and gets no credit for what she was doing. And Dee was only being a mother. And by the time you get done with this, you'll see what I'm talking about. All she was doing was being a good mother, because she could have been a worse mother. She could have been a mom that did not. She was being a mom that did not care and that didn't go to the doctor and tried to make her. God. I apologize for that. Well, man's about to cook supper. But what I was trying to say is that Dee was doing nothing but being a mother. And had she not been a mother, none of the stuff that Gypsy did get took care of wouldn't have. Had her mom been a shitty mom, she wouldn't have had the things that needed to be done. I mean, her mom, Dee, could have been a shitty parent and didn't give a fuck. She wouldn't have had her eyes. You see what I'm saying? There would have been none of those things got took care of if her mom was truly being a shitty mom. But she wasn't. She was being an awesome mom. Now, I want you to look on right here it all started with Gypsy being in that wheelchair. Whenever her grandpa and her were on the motorcycle or whatever accident, and she hurt her leg, her mom felt the need that if she was in the wheelchair, her leg would heal faster and a lot better. That's the reason to put Gypsy in the wheelchair. Now, it had nothing to do with Dee on her getting out. Gypsy, here's proof, where she was too scared to tell her mom she could walk. So that led to everything from the time that she went in that wheelchair to the time that her mother lost her life. All of it was because of Gypsy telling the world she could not walk. Can you give me a second and let me see what he needs? I apologize. Now, I want you to take note that a lot of the stuff that is falsely written is in Gypsy's made-up, believed book. Just like the part where her granddad and everything else, Gypsy made that up. And to make that statement even further on the truth is Gypsy is about to redact, I might make that word different, redacted, her own book because of the lies that she wrote in it while she was in prison. And then when she got out and her story was truly dissected and realized everything that she said in that book was fake. It was false. It was bullshit. It was made up to go with her abuse narrative that her defense had to come up with to keep her ass out of prison and off death row. Now, I want you to take note that being that Gypsy was in the wheelchair and certain things that were done at the doctor, I think required her mother to deserve some charity. I'm going to tell you how the other come about, but I think that Dee was struggling, and I think she deserves some of the attention and the people that were reaching out to her, and because Gypsy, she was really a single mom. She did not have no one standing beside her and, to relieve her or at the doctor's office or just go take a break. Dee didn't have that. So I think that there was organizations and there was charities that said that she truly deserved. And I'll get to the other point on where the other ones come and play. Now, once Gypsy realized the attention she got while she was in the wheelchair, that's a whole nother story on the rest of the charities, and I'll explain that in just a minute. But we're still on the proof of Gypsy put herself in the wheelchair and was too scared to tell her mom to get out. So this is where her whole story is based on, and what the lies that she had to do and that she came up with to follow herself in the wheelchair. All right. Now the second thing I want you to look at is the proof on the Munchausen, I'm going to say this wrong, I promise you, Munchausen syndrome by proxy, and how it came about, and why her mom was diagnosed or supposedly diagnosed with what this is. After Gypsy put herself in that wheelchair and she would go to the doctor, and Dee would say, look, this is wrong or that is wrong. By Gypsy's own testimony, she was telling her mom this. Now her mom was now telling the doctors, oh, this is wrong. And then these doctors are looking at Dee and going, no, that's not. There's nothing wrong with her. So therefore, it was making the doctors were assuming that Dee was making this up and putting it all on Gypsy. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like now, it's like, all right, she would go into the doctor and she'd go, look, Gypsy says that she can't eat. And that's another thing. Gypsy told the doctors she was fearful of food. Now, had Gypsy told the doctor and her mom and was truthful about being able to walk and about certain symptoms that were wrong with her, none of that would have took place. So once again, it all leads back to Gypsy putting herself in the wheelchair. Her mom was looking batshit crazy, and they were assuming it was Munchausen syndrome because they thought that she was making this up on Gypsy. In other words, her mom was saying this, and this, but it wasn't. It was Gypsy telling her mom, pretty much like she does now. You know, how she pins everything else on everyone else and her hands are clean. Okay, well, it's the same thing. History repeats itself. She did the same thing to her mom. She was telling her mom this, and this was what was wrong. So her mom was telling the doctors this was wrong. And the doctors were looking at her going, no ma'am, she can walk. There's nothing wrong with her. And her mom was doing nothing but being the mom she was and believing in Gypsy. Now take note, had she been any type of a mother other than good, we wouldn't know this because Dee would never have went to the doctor and tried to find out what was wrong with Gypsy. This all is on Gypsy. Gypsy did this. Gypsy did it from the wheelchair, from going into the doctors, to doubling down that she just lying to everybody that she couldn't walk. Lying to these doctors that she was having a fearful of food. That's where her feeding tube come in play. That's where a lot of it come in play because Gypsy was lying to everyone. And I think the minute she got in that wheelchair, the attention she got once she got there, the things that she was starting to receive while she was there, I think Gypsy was going to do anything to keep herself there. The things that she got while she was in it, the charities, the trips, all that. Gypsy's like, I'm not giving it up. I'm just going to tell these bitches I can't walk for the rest of my life. Until it was inconvenient for Gypsy. When it was time to get out of the wheelchair, then that's when it had to end. Gypsy robbed herself of a childhood. Gypsy robbed herself of the prom, a boyfriend, a life. Anything, the shit that she says about Mia and she has a reason to be jealous, no, she doesn't. Because Gypsy took that away from her. Gypsy took that away from herself. Had Gypsy been honest with her mom from day one that she could walk, all of this from right now to 2007 would not have took place. So you can take and you can pause this, but this is basically proof on where the Munchausen come in play and why it don't make sense to a lot of people. And the whole Gypsy was abused by her mother scenario is not even the way it is supposed to be. It's not even the way it makes sense. And once again, everybody is blaming Dee when it was not Dee. It was Gypsy. And it's not fair that her mom, rest her in peace, gets continuously drugged through the mud on a daily basis by her own fucking kid. Because Gypsy knows, just like Gypsy back then, Gypsy was fearful of telling her mama she could walk. Because of the things that would have came along with it. The upset, however you want to say it. The things that she received. I don't want to get too much into it because I think it's the whole reason Dee lost her life. But you can pause and read this. This is basically the whole where the MSPP came in play, Munchausen by proxy. But you can pretty much read what I'm talking about right there. And that's my opinion on the reason it's said the way it is and the way it's diagnosed with whom really had it and who didn't. And in 2012, after all the surgeries, let me backtrack that way big. No, not surgeries. By process of elimination from the doctors, let me repeat this, the doctors, not her mom, doing these things to her child, and Dee going to these doctors and making this shit up, and the doctors doing this shit to her child. No. It was doctors by process of elimination trying to figure out what was wrong with Gypsy, because there was certain things. There was her ears, her cross-eyed, there was things wrong with her throat, her eyes crossing, she was having trouble with her ears. Those certain things, it came with Gypsy's microdeletion. It's not nothing that was made up. Nothing was made up. It was simply process of elimination on trying to figure out what the hell was wrong with her. So once again, nothing was done to Gypsy that didn't need to be done. Gypsy was not walking into a doctor's office, Dee was not walking into this doctor's and saying this, and this, and oh, today I don't like Gypsy, so I'm going to pull all her damn teeth out her fucking head. And the doctors just said, okay, I'm game. Let's get on it. No. Not only is that bullshit, but it's against the fucking law, and it's against the ethical law of any doctor that truly loves their profession. Even it's against. Like, doctors don't just do that. It costs money to do that. Hold on, Lulu. Hold up. I'm on my move. So this is proof that Gypsy needed the few little things that was wrong with her. They were not made up. They were not fabricated. They were not falsely done by pediatricians and There was no malpractice involved because it needed to be done. Now, had Dee been the shitty mother that Gypsy's claiming her to be, she wouldn't have known this stuff because her mom would have never took her to the doctor. Being her mom was a good mom and wanted to figure out what was wrong with her kid, Dee did everything she could to find out what was wrong with her and fix what was wrong with her. And that's the whole purpose of her microdeletion 1Q2 whatever. Not whatever. I mean, you know what I'm saying. It's a big deal, but I just can't remember the full name. But it's not a made up. It's nothing Dee made up. It's nothing that Dee was trying to force on these doctors to have this false stuff done. None of this. That's why that's why you see no abuse, no narrative of abuse, no pictures of abuse, until the defense made it up to keep that child off death row and out of prison for the rest of her life. So once the defense came up with that, something spouse syndrome, where the spouse supposedly beats the other one. Okay, well, when that didn't work, he came up with her mother. Let's blame it all on her mom. So for 8.5 years, that's what Gypsy did. Gypsy found any excuse in every way to rewrite her fucking story and give it to the public and for the public to get a hold of it before it was actually time to be diagnosed and the truth would have been found out. Gypsy tried to force that shit on the media and get that point across to everyone before she had a chance to get out and the truth come out. She's only been out 1.5 years, and look at the truth that has came out. And the truth is that she selfishly put her ass in that wheelchair. She selfishly drug her mama through the mud, and then she selfishly killed her mother for no reason at all, except for the fact that through all of this, her mother believed in her. Her mother believed she could not walk. And I think it was time for when Gypsy, the jig was up, Gypsy wanted to have her life. She's now 23 years old and she's ready to go live her life. But just like when she got put in that wheelchair, she was too scared to tell her mama, I can walk, I can feel my legs. At 23 years old, Gypsy was too scared to tell her mama, hey, I've been lying to you for 14 years and I put myself in that wheelchair and I made all that stuff up for 14 years. I stole from the charities. I forged your name. I reached out to organizations and gotten all this free stuff. Gypsy wasn't going to tell her mom that. Gypsy was not going to backtrack on all that right there. And the only person that knew about any of that after she got caught about being able to walk was Dee. Dee, the only one that knew. And Gypsy shut her up before Dee had a chance to tell the world what her child has done. Her mother had no idea that Gypsy was this evil. And it slowly, I think the night that she went off to Dan and her mom had to come get her and she realized, wait a minute, something ain't right here. This child is dressing like a 15-year-old, acting like a little kid, and here she is running around trying to play adult. And then that's when I think it all unraveled. I think that's when her mom seen exactly who Gypsy was truly. And then that's when all the abuse toward her mom, Gypsy abusing her mom, came about. Gypsy was mean to her. She was cruel to her. And there's been plenty... I'll quit. There's plenty of evidence to prove it. Hey. Damn it. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so sorry. I apologize. It is my bigger cat jumping on my smaller cat, and she had her by the throat, so I didn't have time to pause that fast. So I apologize, and I am truly sorry. But anyway, That's when everything started to fall apart. That's the that's another thing. I don't even understand how the prosecution could not have looked at the fact that Gypsy or the parole let her out after she tried to take her mom's life twice before she succeeded in fucking doing it. And it had nothing to do with Nick. Nothing to do with Nick. Nick was not even in the picture when she did that to her mom the first time. Or the second time. She only set him up to be the third one and to be the fall guy. And how I don't understand how they even let her out knowing what she did twice before. Because her mindset, her evilness is already there. Not Nick. Nick had nothing to do with it. So if you take Nick out of the equation, it's the evil. Y'all are making it hard for me to do this. It is the evilness is all on Gypsy, and I don't get it. I understand, like, it's all a made up defense, but for the parole, all right. I've been doing true crime for I'm 46. I've been doing it for damn near over 20 years. Okay, I know all the cases there is back then. Ed Gein, Ted Bundy. I mean, I know them all by heart. I've been doing this for a long time. For the fact that Gypsy not only done so much while she was in prison, she got in trouble multiple times. And when it's time for a parole hearing, those things, they take an accountability. So if you did this, and this while you were in prison, hey, wait. If she's doing it when she's in prison, look how she's going to react when we let her out. But she's got this many strikes. We're not letting her out. But that's not what was done. That's why it's so important, guys. Our mission is not toward Gypsy's hate. Our mission is to correct this wrong that is, number one, she is out on. Number two, people are believing it. She got out based on the lie that her mom abused her. Her mom was forcing surgeries on her, causing illnesses. Her mom was force-feeding her fucking medicine that did not need to be done. Her mom was jerking teeth out her fucking mouth because it didn't need to be done, which is bullshit. Gypsy was signing her own paperwork. Gypsy signed her own paperwork to have her teeth extracted from her fucking mouth. And Gypsy was signing her own paperwork. Gypsy was the one that was going back and changing her birthdays and dressing herself up like a child, not her mother. That's why it's so important from anybody, not just content creators, to correct this wrong and to protest and put her back where she belongs. Gypsy's evil. Gypsy is downright fucking evil. Who in their right mind would put themselves in a wheelchair and keep themselves there for 14 years, selfishly take away from charities, take away from kids that deserved it? And Gypsy was standing there, or not standing there, my bad, sitting there, acting like she deserved every bit of it, when she was taken away from kids that really needed it. A kid that probably deserved to go to Disneyland the year that Gypsy selfishly took away from her, and probably died the next year and never got to go see him. Why? Because Gypsy took that trip selfishly. Gypsy went into the hospital telling these kids, "I know how you feel, and I'm so sorry." When it was a lie. You didn't know how them youngins felt. Because you could fucking walk. And there was nothing wrong with you. And the whole shaving of the head thing, Her mom found out she had cancer, and Gypsy shaved her head to go along with that narrative. It's not the opposite, Renee, where her mom shaved her head to go along with Gypsy having cancer. No, because Gypsy never had cancer. That's what I'm saying, guys. She spent 8.5 years coming up with this bullshit story that she is now having to I'm going to say it wrong, redact, because she sold a book to the public that was full of fucking lies that can now proven to be nothing but fucking lies. If you are pro Gypsy, I don't get it. I don't understand how, and that's the whole purpose of my video. Is excuse me, is I write these little posts and people pop up in my comments and tell me I'm full of shit and don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to write it unless I've done my homework and I know what I'm talking about. The shit that people are pro Gypsy about and the people that you're believing in is now, look, here's the age diagnosed and all that. That's what I'm saying. Gypsy was the one reaching out to these organizations just like she did when she was in prison. Just like she does now, reaching out to TMZ and People Magazine every time something happens in her boring ass life. She runs and tells. Just like when she was growing up, she done the same thing. She reached out to organizations over and over again, pretending to be Dee, going through the mail, signing the paperwork that needed to be signed or forged, and then sent back. And then these organizations were reaching out to her mom, and her mom thinking, oh, she was doing something good, when it was Gypsy just being evil. Reaching out, receiving things that was not deserved of her. And like I said, some things, yeah, I believe that some charities and organizations Dee deserved, because Dee was doing it all being a single mom. That's just like Gypsy tries to tell her bullshit story that it was her mom keeping her from her daddy, when no. First of all, that is a two-way street. Her daddy should have been knocking and banging on that door to come see his child. So to blame it all on her mom, just more of Gypsy's bullshit. If you're pro Gypsy, I don't get why you do not understand the 3 points that I'm trying to prove right here, right there. Had nothing to do with her mom. It was all Gypsy. Had Gypsy told the truth about anything, none of this would be. Her mom would be alive, Nick would not be in prison, and Nick's mom would be alive. So I'm quite sure I'm still going to have you in my comments, but I'm going to let this, I'm going to go for now because I got to eat. But like I said, thank you all for subscribing, all 33 of you beautiful people for subscribing, and I hope to have many more in the future. And if there's something that you want me to look into and or break it down a little bit further, I don't mind doing so. So leave it in the comment on if I'm doing a good job or if I'm not. Thank y'all.